Well, you've heard about the news, the skyrocketing cases of RSV, on top of the fact that we're reaching the height of the flu season. One of the best things that you can do to protect yourself and your family is to stay informed. That's why Dr. Anna Maria Temple is joining us now with her top 5 tips to get you prepared. Hello, Dr. Temple.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Oh my gosh, we need to talk about this information and get everybody ready.
Yes, and a lot of people are on edge, and you said there's such thing as Tamiflu paranoia.
You know, everyone is like, flu is in town, and the only solution is Tamiflu. It will be shocked to know that I have not prescribed Tamiflu in over 7 years, which is great information because there is a major Tamiflu shortage. The reason I don't prescribe it is because one of the #1 side effects for kids is vomiting, followed by nightmares or hallucinations, and it only shortens the duration of illness by 24 hours. Instead, I use Oscillococcinum, which is a homeopathic remedy. I use elderberry syrup, and of course my favorite, zinc and vitamin D and vitamin C to keep that immune system rocking.
All right, that sounds good. Well, something else, you know, it's easy to jump to the worst case scenario when someone has a fever, but you say there's such thing as a friendly fever. What's a friendly fever?
Well, you know, when the body's on fire, you can't see my smoke here. But anyway, when the body is on fire, it is actually when the immune system is working at its optimum. When we have a fever, the immune system is responding faster and better than we don't have a fever. But parents out there are so scared of brain damage and febrile seizures, when in fact fever is good for the body. When we let the fever ride and fever do its job, our children and ourselves get better quicker, faster, with less cough, congestion, and snot.
So we just got to let it run its course is kind of what it sounds like sometimes. I'm really intrigued by a home remedy you have. I haven't heard of this one. What is the wet sock method?
So the wet sock method actually comes from a physician from Russia. What you do is you or your child, whoever's sick, is going to have a very warm bath with Epsom salts. Epsom salts actually contain magnesium, which helps decrease muscle tightness and achiness. While the child is in a hot bath, you're going to have a pair of cotton socks in an ice bath and sitting there. And when the child is done with a bath, you're going to take the socks out of the wet, icy bath. You're going to wring it out, put the cold socks on the child's feet, followed by warm, woolly socks on top, put the jammies on, jump in bed, have a good night's sleep. In the morning, the fever's down, congestion's better, and the socks are dry.
Wow. Okay, doctor, you're full of good information. Now, you want to talk about something that I know is important, whether you're sick or if you're feeling just fine, but staying hydrated. That's so important.
It's so important when we feel like doo-doo. We don't want to eat and we don't want to do a lot of things, but we want to have some fluids that have some electrolytes. But we have been brainwashed and we think that we have to buy popular brands that are filled with food coloring, dextrose, artificial flavors, which the body does not need when they're fighting flu and cold or for any other reason. Instead of those, consider bone broth. I mean, grandma's chicken noodle soup has actually been tested in the medical literature to show it shortens the duration of cold and flu symptoms. If you don't like this, you can get teas, coconut water without added sugar, or you can simply get water with a sprinkle of Himalayan salt.
Okay, yeah, sometimes that added sugar just takes away from you anyway. Okay, last thing I want to talk about, because with RSV and with flu, cold, any of that stuff, there's a lot of snot. Snot is a big symptom. What do we do with all that?
There's so much snot. So I'm going to use my friend Mr. Pooh here. So what we do is we actually take this lovely nose Frida and you put in the child's nose, and yes, you suction their boogers out like this. That's really disgusting, but it is incredibly effective because the biggest problem, while children are really fussy, they won't nurse, they won't eat because their nose is full of snot. If you use this manual suction situation, there's a battery-operated one as well, but it's not as fun on TV. Anyway, get the suction out, get the boogers out. Less congestion means better appetite and better sleep.
That sounds good. You know, I've actually used that nose frida before on my baby. I didn't know if there's like a certain age limit when you cut off using the nose frida, but anytime they're young, I guess that still works for them. Thank you so much.
You know, it works amazing. There's a filter in there, everybody. So just know the snot is not getting in your mouth. Conceptually, it's disgusting, but it's really effective, and you don't get snot in your mouth. When the kids are able to blow boogers, you know, I usually tell them, I'm like, let's make snot rockets, and then we're going to do a little saline, which is rocket fuel, and then they blow over the sink, not on your rug. They can blow the boogers into the sink, and especially boys find that really awesome. So like 3-year-old boys are really successful at blowing their nose in the sink, making snot rockets.
I'm sure they are. Okay, Dr. Anna Maria Temple, thank you so much for sharing these tips with us. We sure appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, and I hope everybody stays well.
Thank you. Thank you. You too. And you can find more helpful info for protecting your family in her book, Healthy Kids in an Unhealthy World.